Good morning to all. Can you all hear my voice?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. It's a warm welcome to all the participants as well as the resource person of today's session, Dr. Nikhil Mariwala, sir. So today we are having three sessions. He is going to handle you three sessions today. I am so happy to introduce Dr. Nikhil Mariwala, sir, to all the participants now. He is working as assistant professor as well as HOD in the Department of ECE in University Institute for Engineering and Technology, Kurukshetra. So he did his PhD from NIT Kurukshetra in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. He did his post-graduation MTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Institute of Advanced Studies in Education University and did his BTech in Electronics and Instrumentation from MFEC, Maulana Kurukshetra University. He has more than 18 years of experience engineering teaching graduate as well as postgraduate students. More than 31 students completed their MTech presentation under his guidance. His area of interest are software-defined radios, cognitive radios, soft computing, wireless communication, wireless sensor network, puzzle system design, and advanced microprocessors. He has published more than 5 book chapters in different international books and has authored more than 10 books with Pearson, Whaley, etc. and has more than 30 publications to his credit in reputed international journals and 20 papers in national as well as international conferences. He also has 2 patents published to his credit. He has been chairman of special sessions in more than 6 national international conferences and has delivered a keynote address at more than 3 international conferences. He has also acted as organizing secretary for more than 3 international conferences. He is having additional charge of training and placement officer to Sestra University and heading the training and placement cell for more than 10 years. He is the reviewer for many reputed journals such as International Journal of Communication Systems, IEEE Single Process Letters, International Journal of Measurement Technologies, and Journal of Communication and End User Computing, Egyptian Informatics Journal, Elsevier, that is Instrumentation Engineering, International Journal of Interactive Communication System Technologies, Current Journal of Applied Science and Technologies. He was awarded as Career Guru of the Month award by Aspiring Minds. So on behalf of KSR, IEG and Atal Academy, I welcome you, sir, to today's session. So we are so happy to have you for this session. Sir, Dr. Nikhil, sir.
Very good morning and a very warm welcome to everybody. Thank you very much, ma'am, for introducing me. I hope my voice is audible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Great, great, great. So it's lovely seeing everybody in the room. Thank you very much. I'm very glad and happy to be a part of this program. Thank you very much for inviting me over, ma'am. And I would thank Durga ma'am for inviting me for the lectures today. I'll be talking about LabVIEW as she has already specified the article topics to you in the program. So today we'll be starting with the LabVIEW part, and I hope everybody is familiar with this environment of LabVIEW. And I had requested that if it is possible for you to get it installed, so it will be easier for us to work accordingly, because I'll be showing you some practical examples how to design a system using the LabVIEW part and how to actually uh, implement your own design using this. I would like to excuse all of you because I'm not feeling that well today. So might be that there is some problem in my voice. So kindly bear with that. uh, right. So, ma'am, kindly just let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
I'm just presenting it. So
Yes, I
if it is visible, kindly let me know about that. And I'll start with the presentation. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yes,
Great,
visible.
great,
Yes,
great, great.
visible,
Thank you
sir.
very much. So, so what we have is we have today to talk about the LabVIEW fundamentals. I'll be referring to how this particular software helps us to uh, analyze different aspects. There are few things that we need to understand before we start working with it. Actually, start designing the system. So before even showing it, I'll tell you how it would look like. This if you can see this particular screen over here. I'm using a pretty old version, but still it is more than sufficient for what I plan to do. So this is how the front window looks like whenever you launch it from this particular place, that is LabVIEW 2013. And whenever you launch it, it will look like this, right? So before the start of the session, I would request if you can visit, uh, not now, but after some time, you can have a break and you can visit a website called as ni.com. This will enhance your versions. The fact that how National Instruments is the pioneer behind making LabVIEW popular for researchers and designers all over the world. So I'll start with the presentation now. LabVIEW Fundamentals is the article for today's talk in the very first hour, and then we'll move ahead in the designing of the system. So uh, here we'll be talking about navigation or navigating in the LabVIEW. So we'll be talking about what is this term called as LabVIEW or virtual laboratory, as many people call it, right? So this is basically referred to as a graphical programming environment, which is used to develop, or also referred as GUI, which is developed for sophisticated measurements or tests or the control systems, right? So uh, this particular software has a wide variety of toolboxes and can interface with real-time systems also. So can also be installed in different operating systems and has many inbuilt libraries for us. We'll be seeing a few of them also, right? And working with these libraries today. Some of them, because there are many, so it will not be that easy for us to work with all of them, but I'll show you many of the libraries to work with, right? So we have different types of structures over here. The language characteristics, that is the graphical data flow, multi platform synchronous, right? So these are some of the things that we'll be talking about today. What are the different parts of a VI, or normally we refer this as a virtual instrument uh, while we discuss with this. So we'll be referring to it as a virtual instrument or a VI, right? So what a VI consists of is a front panel, a block diagram, an icon, and a pin connector. I'll show you how it looks like. This is how it looks like. So I'll be showing you practically also how whenever we start working with a virtual instrument, what are the three main, what are the components that we normally look forward for. If you can see, effectively, the parts of our virtual instruments are the front panel, the icon connector pane, and the block diagram. I hope you are able to see that. So these three will be basically utilized for the purpose of designing or ensuring the front panel characteristics, right? So now the next part is how to utilize them effectively. So what we do is the front panel user interface is this is how it looks like. I'll be demonstrating this practically to you. Now these are some of the controls that you can see. This is some kind of a chart over here. And what I'll do is I'll just so here say some kind of an output may be displayed like this, right? Or this is a knob which can be turned around, right? This is some kind of a input number which is entered. This is some kind of a button that is placed to ensure that the process that is going on is either stopped or it is continuing, right? So these are some of the things. Now what I'll do is I'll show you before moving ahead. I'll show you how this kind of a panel looks like. So this is the lab view. You have to press Control N, or what you can do is go to File and just press New VI, right? I hope everybody is able to see this. So whenever you press Control N, you'll see two windows appearing. You have to press Control T. So they both appear simultaneously in front of you. Now this is the front panel that I was talking about. Front panel, and whenever you place a right click onto this front panel, this is how the things appear in front of you, right? So these are what I'll do is I'll just expand this for you first. This is the front panel. Now you can see certain controls present over here. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to ensure that you can place certain things. Say I place a pointer over here. I can even extend it. Right, so I've extended this. I can place a thermometer also. I can extend this. So these are some of the things which are present and can be utilized by all of us. So I'm just placing certain things for you people. Say a graph is here. So this particular graph again is like this, right? Or there are many other controls. One of them I can just use a knob over here, place it. I can extend this, and I can rotate it accordingly, right? So these are the front panel icons or front panel displays that are available to us. Because this is a graphical user interface environment, so the front panel is one of the most important aspects of the virtual instrument that we want to design, and this is how it would look like. So there are many other ways in which we can represent this virtual instrument, right? And the next part, the back end, it is called as the block diagram configuration. And in this particular block diagram configuration, if you see, oh, I just forgot to show you the things that I was trying to place. The same icons just started appearing at the back side also, right? What I'll do is I'll again do for the benefit of everybody, I'll again place it so that you are able to see the things again, right? So now because they are in parallel, you will be able to see how I'm doing it. So I place a numeric control and you see icon appearing there, right? Say I place LED over here and you see a Boolean function coming over, right? Can you see that? And similarly, I can extend this. I place a graph or a chart and you see an icon appearing. So this is how front panel and block diagram, right? So at the back end, we need to design our own system using these front panels, because this is the one where we'll see the output results or whatever inputs you are trying to give, right? So this is the front panel configuration as you see it, and you can place and number of things over here. So whatever you place, the same icon price is appearing in front of you, right? So the block diagram basically is nothing but the objects that are appearing in the front panel are shown in a particular format, right? So they appear in the terminal, and hence this is called as the block diagram. Basically, they are the source code, or also referred as the graphical source code, as far as the LabVIEW is concerned. And the next part, important part, is the VI, or the icon connector pane. That is the virtual instrument icon connector pane over here, where we can basically this is important for the researchers who normally design certain they are working with a bigger design, and they are they want that the design should represent the same thing that they want to show to the user, right? So they normally use this icon pane connector, which basically maps the inputs and the outputs of a virtual instrument or a VI, right? So I'll be showing you how this is done. The next part is the front panel controls, which I just showed you, the controls and the indicator, the object styles, the types, where we have Boolean, numeric, and string types. So this is how effectively a front panel would look like for us. See, I'm talking about very basic fundamentals of LabVIEW, and it is very important for us to actually analyze these components, and it will be easier for us to ensure while we work with them, right? So I'll show you certain examples how the controls and indicators present in the front panel are utilized effectively for our presentation. So the front panel styles are, there are different types of styles available in the LabVIEW part, and these are some of those styles. If you can see, we have modern controls, we have system controls, we have silver controls and classic controls. So there is not much difference in the basically the name, the type, but the only difference is in the representation of all these things, right? So sine wave here is a little, if you can see, has been decorated here. Sine wave is normally in classic systems represented like this, or say in system control it is represented like this. If we are using modern control, it is represented like so. This is just the change in representation of different styles that are available for the front panel. Then we have numeric controls. Again, these are numeric controls and indicators, which are given like this: input and output. So input numeric control and the output numeric control represented in different forms again, if you can see. So these are basically the indicators that are representing different numbers, integers, or floating point values for that sake. Then we have LEDs, that is push button or simple LED indicator, as I just showed you, and they are representing different values of true and false, that is on and off, right? So then the third type is the string type, an important character type, or the SKY characters that can be written directly and can be seen in a string type control. So I'll just show you how these are represented and how they look like. So there are different things helping us out in understanding what type of values are we working with. So block diagram configuration, the front panel configuration talks about all these aspects. The next type is the block diagram configuration, where we'll see terminals, nodes, wires, and contactors. Now, this is how it looks like. The block diagram basically is the representation of whatever we are trying to place onto the front panel configuration. And somewhat similar panel is also there, but the representation is quite different as far as block diagram is concerned. So what we have is, we have terminals, constants, we have different nodes in the form of functions, sub VI structures, and then we have wires and free labels. So here we can ensure any formula implementation or whatever you want to design. So I'll show you how this is done, right? And we can change the type of the representative input also can be changed. Now this is an important aspect. So if you can see this color combination that has been shown and represented over here, very important for us to understand over it. If we want to work with LabVIEW, I just use this to ensure that we follow this, and then we'll design a small system, right? So we have a numeric value being represented by a color called as orange. We have another numeric value being represented by blue color. Then Boolean algebra is represented by green color. Strings are represented in the form of pink color. So these colors are very important if you see. Right. So as soon as you click onto any of these icons, say this icon is clicked, this kind of a menu appears in front of you. Now, if you just deselect this view as icon, it will be now represented as this form. This is just the representation, right? So if you can see what we are trying to do in this case is just to ensure that you are familiar with the working environment of LabVIEW. Now, these are different types of nodes. Say I have used a multiplier over here, another multiplier over here. I'm just giving the input. So these will be termed as nodes for me, right? Similarly, these are there are different functions that are available in the LabVIEW part, and what I'll do is I'll just stop over here, and I don't know how many of you are actually having this system installed. With me. I'm just coming to back to the screen. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Right, right, right. Thank you very much for acknowledging. Otherwise, I thought I was just talking to the screen only. It is very difficult to talk to the screen each time. So yes, thank you very much for that. I'm just asking, are you all anybody who's having this software right now installed and can work with it? No, no, really no problems. Then in that case, I'll do it very easily and simply for you, so that whenever you get this installed and you start working with it, it is easier for you. If you see the tutorial or the recording, it is easier for you to understand what I was trying to give you, right? So what I'll do is I'll just uh, say I'll place a knob over here, and I'll place a thermometer control or thermometer over here and just extend it. So this is a simple thing. Now a knob that has been placed and a thermometer that has been placed will be linked directly here. Can you see this? I've just connected them. And what I'll do is I'll just 0 to say 100. I just change the values, right? Simple thing that I've done. I'll just run it, and if I'll run it, you can see that it is not that easier for you to see because I'm just running it once, right? I'm changing the value, running it, changing the value, running it, but you will see the change happening in the temperature. It will either increase or decrease, but each time I have to run it. So what is the easier part? I'll tell you after this because it might be a complex thing. Now the point is a simple knob and a thermometer control. right? Say I use this control, or let me just use a multiplier for that sake, right? And I can create a constant over here. So I write this value 10 and create an indicator over here, right? So this is a simple thing that happened. Now, as soon as I created the indicator, can you see the reverse also happening? You are able to see the output in the front panel. Now, this is how we distinguish. Block diagram basically is the backend programming, and the output is displayed in the front panel. Now, if I again run it, you'll see the output. Can you see that output happening? So a simple mathematical terminology was utilized, and you could see the changes happening, right? I can further complex this circuitry, right? I can take this. Just a second. What I'll do is, yeah. Now it is simple. I don't know whether you're able to see this or not. As soon as I'm moving my cursor to this particular point here, the wire is coming directly. Right click onto this particular point, create a constant. Another constant appears in front of me. Say I write it 4. And now again, what I want is I want to create some say indicator again. Just create an indicator for me. And just another indicator comes over. I hope you can see this now. I'm not writing anything. It is x into y. It is x divided by y over here, right? Now again I run it, and you see the output values. Say I change it again, you see the output values. I change it again, you see the output values. Now I have to run it continuously. If I have to run it continuously, see I press this button now. Now you can see the changes happening. Can you see this? I hope you are all able to see this. There is one more interesting thing that I'll like to show you over here. Now see what I'm doing. I'm pressing a button over here called as highlight execution. Can you all see this? Highlight execution. Just have a look over the change that is happening now. You'll see some dots moving in the screen. Can you see these dots moving and values coming over? So this is highlight execution. This is a very interesting feature given by LabVIEW, that you can see how your data flow is happening inside, and you are able to see the output values at each node, right? If I just stop it, you'll not be able to see that thing now. If I'm just highlighting the execution over here, you can see the nodes. You can see the output values at these nodes. Yeah, I hope you're able to see this. Actually, difficult for me to switch over to the screen and see your comments. So, because if I'm seeing the screen, I'm unable to see the chat part. So you can just switch on your mics also and call yes or no, right?
Sir,
So,
we can able to.
Yes. So I hope you are getting familiar enough with this environment now. This is the simple program that I've written. Now I haven't written a single line code, but for me, I have just designed a problem for what I was looking forward, right? And I've represented it graphically also. You can see, right? So it is a simple thing that we can do easily with LabVIEW part, because we are just in the elementary stage. So what I'm doing is I'm moving back to the presentation to highlight what we have done till here. So this is what I wanted to highlight, the nodes part and the terminal views. So if you can again analyze and just go back. Right. So what I'll do is I'll just show you the Boolean function also over here. I place this Boolean function and right clicking onto this, create an indicator, or say an LED for that sake, right? And I'm just I'll just remove this wire for you. Connect them together and then run it. So this is the indicator, this is the LED. I'll just switch this off. Right, run this continuously again and you can see. Can you see this on and off happening again now? Simple program of on and off switch, and I'm just clicking onto this Boolean function, nothing else. I click on, off, like this, right? The thing that I wanted to show you was this is green color, this is another something else, orange color, and if I use strings, right? I use a string constant over here, and again create an indicator for me. So a string over here. So you must have written, whenever we start writing a program, normally what we see is a problem is given to us, write something onto the screen, right? So I'll show you how this is done. This is a string over here. Good morning, everyone. I'm writing something, right? Welcome to the Battle program. Simple message. Now see what happens. It is displayed here because the size was a little smaller. Now it will be displayed, right? So the same message got displayed. Another program I have written to display something onto the screen, writing using a string. The string of characters being displayed, right? So parallelly, see, in the same window, I'm running so many parallel programs. I hope you are able to see and analyze this, right? I can thanks to everyone, right? I've just added a few more sentences to it and I'm just running it again. So you see the output here. So it is that easy. The thing that I wanted to highlight was that how easy it is if you have flowed in your mind, you want to work with certain things, how easy it is to work with a LabVIEW program and how easy it is to design it. So if you are familiar with the environment, so this is the important part that I wanted to highlight, that we need to be very familiar with the environment with which we are working with, right? So these are some of the functional nodes that I've just shown you. There is another important term that is added in LabVIEW program. The important term is basically the sub VI. You've all heard about a VI. Now we will be talking about a sub VI. Sub VI is something which is basically inside a VI. I'll tell you how to create it after this. So this is a sub or a small structure which is basically a part of a bigger VI, right? And there are many important functions available in the form of express VIs in the LabVIEW part. So these express VIs are predefined, pre-built, inbuilt structures that have been given in the LabVIEW part, and these can be directly used by we people, right? So because they are in the form of designed structures, so they look like this. Like this, right? Again, what I'll do is I'll just open another new VI for you. Right clicking onto this, right? These are some of the libraries. Silver, as I told you, Silver, System, Classic, and Express, right? Similarly, I right click here. So these are the Express VIs that I was talking about. Express VIs, input, simple input called as a simulate signal. I just click it again, right? And I place it over here. So when I place it over here, it is very easy for you to analyze what I'll be doing. I'm just placing my arrow, just extending this, and you see this is an inbuilt simulate signal VI that has been created inside. We have amplitude, frequency, offset, phase. Double click onto this, and the backend part will be displayed. There are sine, square, triangular, sawtooth, or even for that sake a DC waveform available for us, right? The frequency selected, phase is here, amplitude is here, you can all see them, right? And the simpler part is how you'll see the output. Again, the output part is sine, so I just right click onto this, create a graph indicator. A simple graph indicator appears. The connection is also done automatically here. I run this, you see the output. Can you see the output? Right, so this is how a sine wave is represented easily in the LabVIEW part. I can also create a numeric indicator over here, which will give me the numeric value also. See the numeric output value over here. Right, I'll just extend it for you. So this is the numeric value. And if I run it continuously, you can see this. And now what I can do is create a control, right? So amplitude control is there now. I'm changing the amplitude. Can you see the change happening in the amplitude also? Can you see the change happening there? Right. So these are some of the easier things that we can do. I can remove this and I can place a knob also. So this is a simple knob control. What I'll do is I'll just connect this and remove this wire for this. I can extend it. Again, run continuously because it is 0, so output is 0. Can you see that? Perfect 0. As soon as I'm changing the knobbing, increasing the value, you can see the change happening. So this is a very, very effective tool if you want to analyze things in real time, or we want to analyze how things are represented actually in real time, right? So I hope I'm not that fast in this. I hope I am able to tell you the things. The things are well explained. I need to see the chat box in that case. Yes. Sir, is it possible to simulate Arduino? Yes. It is very much possible. Can I write functional programs of Node using any programming language? Yes, you can do that. And we can interface Arduino with LabVIEW. I have done it, right? So, because right now I'm not having it, but yes, you can definitely interface Arduino with LabVIEW. Very easy. Not that difficult at all, right? So because we are jumping to Arduino, it seems that we have already learned the designing, and no, we haven't yet done that, and I'll take more time to ensure that you all are familiar with this kind of structure, and you are able to program it once you are done with this program, right? So you are able to program your own self, right? So I hope I'm not that fast. So I'm trying to be very slow and show you effectively how the system actually works also, right? So again, an important slide for all of you. Try and have a look over this slide. If you see, we have just seen these things. And I hope everybody can recognize it now. The color scheme, right? The color scheme talking about different types of things: floating point, integer, strings, and boolean. So see the difference in the color. Floating point, integer represented by blue, floating point by some orange color, strings by a pink color, boolean by a green color, and these normally appear in front of you automatically. You don't have to color them, right? This is just what we saw, a broken arrow, a line with a broken arrow. If there is wrong connection, wrong data type attached, so this thing would appear. Now, the thickness of these lines also is taken into consideration. Scalar, 1D, 2D, there can be 3D also, right? So it will be represented by 3 lines in that case. So the thickness varies, right? So these are different types of colors, styles, thickness of the different data types that we are using, and a very, very comprehensive help book is there inside the LabVIEW. So you have to do what? You have to just press Control H, and the LabVIEW help comes out. And this is a very comprehensive document available inside it. Right. So either you can see it here also, click it onto help, or press show context help. It will try and show you the different things. Or LabVIEW help. This is the document. So it will just take a minute to open because this is a very big document. LabVIEW help, and this is how it looks like. So whatever has been placed inside the software, the important part is they have written each and everything in the form of help. Very, very interesting, very effective help book, right? You can search for a particular thing, or you can just read it, right? So if you see, we have getting started with LabVIEW, introduction to LabVIEw, it will just keep on opening, right? So whatever you are talking about, whatever you're looking forward for, everything is available. All the toolkits that they have placed, we'll be looking into few toolkits today. So the detailed help is available in the form of LabVIEW. Move back, right? So the next important part is searching for controls and VIs in LabVIEW. So we have palettes, quick drop, and NI global search. 3 things that LabVIEW has kept for us. So how to do it? We can do it in this fashion as I've written in this slide. Search or navigate the palette, that is the control palette and the functional palette. We can search them. We can search by name or object, or we can search directly by going to LabVIEW help as I just showed you, and or ni.com, right? So I'll be keep on switching over to this particular part. Now this is how it looks like. Function, can you see it over here, and search. I just have to press search and the things would appear, right? Now if you are searching for some component over here, you have to just write the name. Say I'm searching for uh, biosignal input. So these are some of the biosignal VIs available for you. Right? I might be looking for these things. Say I'm looking for fuzzy, right fuzzy over here. Right, so some of the fuzzy controls, fuzzy functions appear in front of you. So this is how you can search it easily. Search option is available everywhere. Search is here. In both block diagram and front panel, the search option. So you need not remember the path each time. You can even search for the things that you are looking for. So this is the control palette. Again, contains the controls and indicators that are to be used. I've just shown you this. You navigate between different aspects. The functional palette. Again, this is the function palette. I showed you this also. And how to search quickly. This is how it is. The quick drop uh, searching option available in LabVIEW. So you can do that. And there is another global search available, which directly connects you to ni.com. If you're not able to find something, you can go to ni.com and find it here. Right? Now, data flow, again, we have already talked about this, what data flow is and how effectively this can be utilized. Right? So a node is utilized, used, you can use them, and you can actually see how a node is executed and how a node supplies the information. So what I'll do is I'll give you a small quiz right now, and you need to answer the questions. Are we all ready with that? For that, I don't know whether you were expecting this or not, but this is just a small quiz for everybody uh, to answer a very small and interesting questions based on what we have done till now. So this is a simple data flow diagram that has been drawn, and you need to tell me which node gets executed first. I'll wait for the answer. You can even switch on your mics and let me know about it. Anybody, anyone who can just tell me about this? I don't know whether you're typing something in the chat box, right? Because if I'm in the presentation mode, I will divide. Sorry, add. Yes, add. Okay, great. We just see. So this is basically, yes, add, definitely add is the one of the possibilities in this case. Subtract will definitely not happen. Random number might happen because random number is generated accordingly. Divide can also happen because this is parallelly running in the two parts. First is this and second is this, but I can call this first also, right? So these can be the definite answers. You are almost correct when you say add, right? Similarly, we have another thing, how to build a simple way. I've just shown you how to build it, but we'll answer few more questions, right? I'm now making it easier for you. That was a big comprehensive slides quiz. Which function executes in this case? I think everybody can answer this one. I've removed that earlier part. You can switch on your mics. I think you can switch on your mics and say the answer.
Add.
I don't think there will be disturbance.
Adding.
Which function executes first? I think everybody can say add. Yes, definitely. You're right. I would request you kindly switch on your mic so I'm able to hear you. So add is the correct answer. The second part is which functions executes first in this case now? Sign or divide?
Divide.
Now I need to know the answer here. Sign. So add is already gone, sir. Sign is the function that you see will be executed first. Any reasons why sign? Why not a division for that sake? Lavneet Mishra is talking sine. Nidhu is talking sine. Padmaja is also referring to sine. So any reasons why sine? Why not the other addition or division that I've shown you? चलिए देखते हैं इसको आंसर को देखते हैं what is happening, right? So you're talking about sine, but the answer should have been divide in this case, because division will be performed first. I'm talking about first, and then the input will be given, right? Can you see this now? The function that executes first, it will be divide first,
Divide.
not the sine part, right? And similarly, I've again now combined both of them. You've already answered this, right? Which of the first executes? So it will be actually unknown, but you can call it a addition, or in fact for that sake a division also, because they can be executed simultaneously, right? So which of the following executes last in this case? So this is an interesting question. Last. Now I'm not talking about first. Last.
Subtraction.
I don't know why you people are shy enough to switch on your mics and answer the questions. Unknown, right? Lavneet Mishra says unknown. Okay. You can switch on your mics. Why are you worried about the mic on? Ma'am, I hope I'm doing fine with and asking them to switch on the mics. I don't know what you have asked them for. So which one executes last? I'm waiting for the answers. Let some answers come and then I'll tell you. Unknown, subtract. Okay, subtract.
Subtraction.
There are a few more answers that can be typed again if you are not able to switch on the mic itself. Chaliye, I don't know. There are only 3-4 answers coming, so it will be subtraction, right? So subtract is the one which executes last, right? Last, definitely it will be subtraction. So what are the 3 parts of a VI? I hope everybody can answer this also. I'm just trying to evaluate, because after this we have to design a system. A, B, and D. Okay, A, B, and D. Great. Front panel, block diagram, and icon paint. Definitely, you are correct. You are right. When you say this answer, you are definitely correct. A, B, and D. Right. So these are the major 3 parts of a VI. Now we'll move over to what G language is. So, ma'am, if you are able to hear me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Durga ma'am, if you are able to.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We need to take.
yes.
Shall I continue, or you need to take a break for the participants?
Yes, sir. No problem. We can take a break and then we will continue the session, sir.
Pardon, ma'am.
We shall have a
just
half an hour
didn't
break,
get
sir,
you.
and then we can. Sir, we should have half an hour break and then we should
we
continue, sir.
can
You also take rest.
half an hour break. Okay. Fine enough,
Right.
ma'am.
Yes,
Fine
sir.
enough. So what I'll do is I'll just give you some time to analyze what we have done. We've just finished the quiz also. You can see the things. You can visit a website called as ni.com, right? And see the things, how they are happening. And once we return back, what we'll do is we'll start with the designing of a particular system, and I'll try and explain everything through the designing part, right? So that's it. Thank you very much, and we join back after 30 minutes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. At 11 o'clock we'll start.
Just give me a ring, and I'll be back again. Bye. Is there any dependencies for installing? No. There is no dependency for installing LabVIEW. You can just download it from ni.com right now itself, and because it is a very heavy software, again I'll repeat, it is a very big software. It will take some time for you to install it, right? And the free version can be installed for 7 days. So the free version is available, and you can install it it will work for 7 days. ni.com. You can visit this, right? And you can see the details here. Everything is well explained over here, right? Yeah, thank you very much. And so we turn back after 30 minutes again. Right. Thank you very much.
Okay, participants, we shall start our next session by 11 o'clock.